Hello, hello, hello. So we are going to be day trading today. Something that I've been wanting to get to for a long time. Finally have the opportunity to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to actually be trading SOFX today. So if you don't know what that is a leverage ETF that tracks SOFI. And so right now it looks like the data has come out and the market is not really doing much right now, but we expect some more volatility as the day goes on. Okay. So it looks like the Nasdaq has gone up a little bit. It looks like the SPY is still up in the pre-market. So I guess that jobs data wasn't terrible. So let's go ahead and get things set up. So you can see right now I am in SOFX. And currently the price is sitting at $16.46. So let's see if we can get some movement going here. Okay. Let me get everything set up here. So we're gonna be on here for a little bit. Again, for those of you that may be just coming in, please hit that thumbs up so that we can support the channel. We can get some traction to fight the almighty algorithm. Okay. All right. Let's see what kind of chaos we can get into today. Again, this is going to be some live trading for those of you that don't know. We're doing some live day trading today. So I'm trying to get the thumbnail up. And if you guys have any questions about anything throughout this live, just ask me. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay? So let's go ahead and get this saved up here so we can get things moving. All right. So it looks like we've got a little bit of movement happening with SOFX. Right now I'm about a dollar and 70 in the to the positive side. So I want to see if we can get about 1% off of this before we close it out. So today I don't really foresee the market going down much. So from that perspective, I'll have more of a DCA approach towards my day trading. So I've got all of these levels and all of that, which is cool. The only level that I'm really paying attention to here is this $15.87. If we start to go below that, I'll start to exit the trades that I have. But I think we'll get some momentum to the upside with SOFX. So again, this is an ETF that tracks SoFi. Okay. And the reason why I picked SOFX is because you got some leverage. You won't get too bored with it. Now, I will say this: the bid between the ask, the space between the bid and the ask is a little bit rangy. So if you don't know what you're doing, you could potentially lose some money that way. So you have to pay attention to the bid and ask. Okay. So again, for those of you who are coming in, please hit that thumbs up so we can fight this almighty algorithm. We'll be on here for quite some time today, and we're going to be trading SOFX. So we're still getting things set up. You can see we're actually in a position here that we're in positive. Now, my rule of thumb for myself is this: I don't day trade to necessarily change my life in one day, right? So I'm taking whatever the market gives me. If the market gives me $20 a day, I'm taking it. If it gives me 10, I'm taking it. I'm not going into this saying, hey, I'm trying to get 250 to $1,000 a day. That's not the mindset I'm coming into this with. So you go into it like that, you can find yourself in a hole, especially if you're not using stop losses. So for me, again, I am going to just take what the market gives me. I'm not going into this thing being greedy. So again, if I get lunch money today, I'm going to be fine with that. Okay. So let me know what you guys are going to be doing today as far as your trades. Are you long today? Are you short today? What's your overall sentiment for the market? What are you going to be day trading? Let me know in the comments. Okay. So as of right now, there's not much movement in the markets. There is a slight bump up for the SPY, slight bump up for the Qs as well. And we'll see what the market really thinks of this jobs data just shortly here. So again, I'm in SOFX right now. It tracks SoFi, so we're up positively right now. Not really much going on, but at this particular level here, 1587 is what I have my eye on for the day. Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm cautious around this area because if we start to go below this, we could have momentum going back to the downside. So at that particular point, I may look to start to short it in the short term. So we'll see what happens as things start to come up here as we're live. All right. Now, again, engage with me, guys. What are you guys gonna be trading today? Let me know in the comments. What do you guys like to trade? Are you strictly SPYs? You strictly QQQ? Do you buy stocks outright? Do you uh trade options? What's your strategy? Do you only trade futures? I want to know what you guys trade in the comments. All right. So doesn't look like we have any comments yet. So see what else we got going on here. Now, another stock that I may look into trading today is Nvidia. That's one of the stocks that I usually trade pretty consistently. And I also trade the leverage ETF NVDL for Nvidia. So I know a lot of you guys have been wanting me to come on here and show you how I day trade. Again, I'm not a person that goes all in. I'm a person that has many different options on how I day trade, and it all always depends on what the market's doing, right? So today I'm going to be taking more of a dollar cost average approach because I don't think the market is really going to be going down much. I think we're going to be a little bit choppy. It's going to give us some range, but I think ultimately tomorrow is what we're waiting on. Tomorrow is going to be the end all be all for what this overall week wants to kind of see what's going to happen. Okay, so again, let me know in the comments what you guys are trading today. We want to know. We want to see what your reactions are going to be um, to what's going on here. Okay. So again, right now we're just sitting comfortably in SOFX, waiting on some movement, waiting on the markets to open up here. So let's go ahead and maybe check out what the actual jobs data was, because it's not really much going on right now. I thought we would have a little bit more movement, so maybe things came in right with alignment. Okay, so let's see. Let's see here. So it says U.S. jobs report shows 130,000 increase. Okay, so that's what we have for that. And today's Thursday. Let's check out what happened with jobless claims today. So jobless claims is what we want to take a look at here. So US dollar falls early Thursday ahead of jobless claims. Existing home sales data also came in. So we got a lot going on today, but tomorrow, like I said, is gonna be the end all be all. So it says jobless claims. Of course, you get all these ads that pop up. How about we do this? Let's just see what the jobless claim data is with Chat GPT. Let's see if it can give us some answers here because the internet is not really giving us much. So let's see jobless claim numbers today. See what we get. So the most recent weekly jobless claim data showed 231,000 claims, which is up 22,000 from the prior period and higher than economists expected. So this was the largest increase in nearly 2 months, it says. So yeah, I don't know how the market's gonna react because normally right now we're in a time where good news is good news. I want to say from what I've been seeing, bad news is bad news. But this thing here says jobless claims showed more Americans filing for unemployment than expected. So it was 231,000 versus forecast near 212. Okay, so this suggests the labor market may be losing slightly, which can impact stocks, bonds, and Fed expectations. So either way it goes, I think that the Fed is probably going to do something this next round. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can remember. So the last time we had uh the Fed numbers, I'm sorry, the Fed decision, they decided to keep the rates at with no change, and the markets didn't like that. Okay. All right, so for those of you that are coming in, please hit that thumbs up so we can fight that algorithm. Even if you don't decide to stay, please hit that thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. So again, we are day trading, and we are in SOFX right now. So again, we're not giving any financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. So again, we're in SOFX right now, trying to see if we can get some movement, get a little buffer before the market actually opens. So again, I'm not one of those people that trades to like change your life on one trade or one given day. I'm a person that takes what the market gives me. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Okay. So yeah, guys, jobless claims came in hotter than expected. Sometimes that initial move is going to bump to the upside and then come down. But at the open, if I had to take a guess, I would say we're probably going to dip at the open and then kind of regain its way back up and kind of be choppy throughout the day, which is going to give us opportunity to buy some stock for those of you that are going to be going long on whatever stocks you like, right? So again, I appreciate anybody that's been in here. Again, hit that thumbs up, guys. If you haven't already, I appreciate it. Okay. Now, I also stated that I'll probably be looking at Nvidia as well because Nvidia has been one of those stocks that's kind of held the market together over this last week. It's had a nice run up, and I think that if we can have a good earnings for Nvidia, then that'll bring the market back off to the races because the market over the last couple of years overall has gone when Nvidia is gone. Now I understand Apple has had this moment, Google more recently has had this moment, but now I think it's time for Nvidia to shine again. Okay, so see what else is going to be going on today. So we also have earnings happening today. So we haven't really had many heavy hitters today, but I think that these home sales that'll be coming out at 10 a.m. is going to be a big factor as well on how markets move. We also have Fed Governor Stephen Myron going to be speaking after hours today at 7:05. So there's a lot going on here. So let's look at what earnings are going to be coming out today. Earnings today. So let's see. We have earnings. All right, so let's see what we got for earnings this week. So for earnings today, we've got Nibius, Melco, Brookfield. I mean, that's a pretty decent one. Crocs is going to be reporting today. So they actually reported and they beat. So there may be a little bit of volatility over there at Crocs. So you can check that out. Zoetis reported better than expected. Baxter reported a little worse than expected. Birkenstock came in with this earnings per share right at expected, but their revenue was below what we expected to see. So again, there definitely are some decent stocks that have been reporting today. I'm trying to find the earnings for this week. Let's see, earnings this week. Whisper. So we had Robinhood that came out the other day, and their numbers weren't what we expected. So along with that, when you think about Robinhood, it's got those ties to crypto, and a lot of people have gotten scared. They've stopped trading, and so from an earnings perspective, of course, their numbers are going to be down a little bit lower than expected, right? Because people are scared out. When you think about the psychology of people, they typically buy when the stock is moving up at its all-time high. That's when retailers normally come in right when it's about to dip, right? And then they're caught holding the bag, they're mad because they took out a loan they sold against their house, and now they're upset at everybody, right? So you got to be very careful, and you want to start to accumulate crypto when nobody's talking about it, when it's crypto winter, when it's no action, no movement at all. It's super cheap, and you're thinking, hey, I don't want to get into this now because there's nothing happening right now. It's just something about the human psyche that just doesn't really want to get in on the action when there's nothing going on. So it's crazy how that happens, right? All right, let's go ahead and see what else is going on here. So we'll come back to SOFX, see what's going on with Neo right now. So Neo in the the pre-market is down 0.59. Palantir right now is up 0.66%. And this is one of those stocks that I think is going to take off eventually again. We charted it out a couple of days ago that this thing could potentially go back down to about 110, 120 before it decides to go back up to all-time highs. But as of right now, Palantir is doing, I mean, it's pretty flat. 1% really is flat for Palantir. And so right now we're sitting at 0.65%. MicroStrategy right now is up 1%. Again, this thing is severely on sale, but I do think it has more downside if Bitcoin decides it wants to go down. And I read that a couple of days ago that MicroStrategy actually accumulated more Bitcoin, I think about a week ago. So I would expect their dollar cost average to start to come down, which is going to be good in the long term. But with crypto, you got to go through these tough times before you start to go back to all time highs, right? So you just got to be patient, okay? Now, Alphabet is currently up about 0.5%, and This is one of those cash cows, guys. Look at that. Look at the market cap, $3.76 trillion. Now I know a lot of you guys didn't see this coming, but you know, I knew once I started using Gemini and uh, the Google Labs they have. I can't remember the name of it, but they have so many different AI products, and they're pretty good, right? They're pretty good. I think that they can give you the ability to have those videos that you make a little bit longer, but you don't want to give everything out all at the same time, right? So from that perspective, I get it. I understand. Okay. Now, Rigetti. All right, Rigetti looks to be down in the pre-market. And so if you're not familiar with quantum computer stocks, there is a company called Quantum. Let me make sure I don't mess this name up. QuantumScape. They had earnings yesterday. The market didn't like it, and right now QuantumScape is sitting down 8.17%. So if you're looking for a stock that invests directly into quantum computing, then QuantumScape could be a good stock for you. All right. So you may want to look into that, do a little bit of research. Okay. Now let's come down here. IonQ. Okay, IonQ is another one that could be a decent buy for you if you're into AI and quantum computing and all that type of stuff. Could be another one for you. Let's take a look at XRP. XRP right now is sitting at $1.39. And I remember this thing was almost going to $4. And right now, people aren't happy, man. People are not happy with crypto, but when you've been in this thing for a while, you understand that these are the ebbs and flows. And although a lot of people are upset, a lot of people are freaking out, I don't think we've hit crypto winter yet. When we've hit crypto winter, XRP will be at under $1, 75 cents, 60 cent, so forth and so on. So right now, we're not in a crypto winter. Okay. Now, when it comes to crypto and Bitcoin, this is what I'll say, and I've said this a couple of times. Bitcoin is the end all be all. Crypto goes where Bitcoin goes. Bitcoin is the one that brings liquidity into the space. It's all about Bitcoin. And until Bitcoin gets to 50,000 or below, I can't say that we're in crypto winter. We've got to get below 50,000 for it to be a real winner for me. Okay. Now, let's check out what else is going on here. So I'm gonna change this view here. I'm gonna go to let's go to all stocks. No. All right, Broadcom. Let's see what's going on with Broadcom. Broadcom actually has been doing pretty good over the last couple of days. I think they had a pretty decent week last week. Let's take this thing a week out. So look at the monster moves this thing is on here. So just in the start of the summer, we were sitting at about 248. Now this thing is at $413. Okay. Now, a lot of people are putting a lot of emphasis on Nvidia, but you can't forget about Broadcom. It is a heavy hitter in this space. Okay. Now you also have Intel and some of these other chip stocks, Taiwan Semiconductor, which is a part of that chip stock area as well. But you can't forget about Broadcom. Okay. Also, Let's take a look at Apple. Apple right down is sitting at 0.42%, pretty flat on the day. I don't really expect much movement from Apple right now, and the movement that it's making right now is kind of scaring me. It looks like it wants to form a double top at the moment. It looks like there's some rejection again at this peak. So there's always that potential looking at that last candle for us to come back to 255. You know, and I understand a lot of people, you know, don't like the fact that I would say something like that. But when you look at the charts, there's a potential for a double top. Okay. Now let me know what you think about Apple. Are you bullish on this thing for the rest of this year? What are you thinking for this quarter, the quarter that's coming after that? I want to know what you guys think. Okay. Now, again, for those of you that are just coming in, we are trading SOFX. It tracks SoFi. It is a double leverage. There's actually been a lot of movement with SoFi. And so the reason why I am trading this is because there's a direct tie in towards crypto, which is volatile. There's a direct tie into the economic data, which we've been getting all week. And then we've got CPI tomorrow. So from that standpoint, tomorrow, man, tomorrow's gonna be crazy. Today there's gonna be some movement, but tomorrow is gonna be even crazier than today's gonna be. Okay. So let's see what happens. All right. We've got about 30 minutes left until the markets go live. So yeah, let's check out what else is going on. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. I would expect it to be doing decent since XRP is. So yeah, Bitcoin right now sitting at about 2%, 2% movement in Bitcoin. Okay. Now, when we look at Bitcoin, I'm gonna bring this thing out to the 30-minute chart. Okay. I think for Bitcoin right now, obviously the floor is at about I'm gonna bring this thing out to the hour. So the floor right now for Bitcoin is about 65,000. I think on some exchanges this thing got as low as maybe 59,000 over the last week or so. So it looks to me as of right now we have a decent strong level of support at about 65,000, and the next leg up, if we're not in crypto winter, is we have to not touch 70,000 like we've been doing, but we have to break through 70,000 and work our way to 71 and hold it there. So this is the range here that we're in. This is that zone that we're in. So let me get this line here. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let's try it again. So this is the range we're in here. Read about 70. All right, so this is the range we're in here. All right. So anything above this is gonna be good. So again, we can't just touch 70. We've gotta break through 71 and hold for us to build ourselves back up. So I'm gonna put another line here. And we're gonna put that in green. Okay. So this is green. All right. Now I'm gonna come back down here. We'll take that auto off so we can move this thing here. So anything below here is gonna be a danger zone again. But as of right now, tomorrow is gonna be it. Tomorrow is gonna let us know ultimately what's gonna happen with Bitcoin. CPI numbers, and it's crazy because a lot of people still don't think crypto has any dealings with the stock market at all. It's all ran by the same people now that the institutions have their money into Bitcoin. The moment they came out with, Mara Riot, they came out with BITO. The moment they came out with these Bitcoin mining companies and ETFs, grayscales, that's when I knew that Bitcoin could be tamed, right? Just like gold and silver, we've seen those have monstrous runs, and we've seen them be tamed, right? There's always somebody behind the scenes making things happen. Whether there's some group things that go on with the whales out here, they're the powers that be. Doesn't matter if we're talking crypto. Doesn't matter if we're talking stocks. It doesn't matter if we're talking precious metals. Doesn't matter if we're talking commodities, energy. Doesn't matter. There's always somebody um, behind the scenes that can control what's going on. And the best thing that we can do as investors is be long term buy and hold investors, right? So if you've got access to a 401k, or sorry, a 401k or 403b, then you want to take advantage of that. If the company gives you a match, you want to take advantage of those things. But again, ultimately, day trading is cool, right? Day trading is cool. But from what I've learned over my what is it, 2016, 14, 15 years of day trading, is take what the market gives you. If it gives you $20 for that day, take it. If it gives you $50, take it. Okay. Once you get up, take it and run. That's all I can say, right? And this is just me talking to myself. I can't give financial advice. So where a lot of people go wrong with day trading is this: is you're maybe you're young, you're optimistic, and you're looking at it like, hey, this is my opportunity to really change my life. And so you borrow $10,000 or you save it, you take that $10,000 and then you um put it all in on the spot. You do a 0 day to expiration. Your value goes from 10,000 to 1,000 in the same day. The media told you, right, that you're gonna make a lot of money because the market is going up, and it does the complete opposite, right? So where you go wrong is you had no hedge against what you're doing. You don't have any levels. You don't have any strategy, and you take an L. But like a guy I once heard say this, he said, when you're day trading and you lose that first big batch of money, that is your tuition that you paid to get into it, right? And so that's the ultimate truth. Everybody's got to pay their tuition. Now, I remember this. My first time having a trade, it wasn't really a day trade, it was an overnight trade. And if you're just coming in, please hit that thumbs up button. So it was Meta, right? I think Meta, this was maybe 2012, 2011. It was Meta. And the night before it had earnings, I had $3,000. I woke up the next morning and I had $8,000. And I don't know, 20, what am I? I'm about to be 41. So we're talking, I probably was 25, 26. And the next day, I was up maybe $5,000. And the day after that, guess what happened? I lost everything that I actually made and a little bit more, because in my mind I'm thinking that, okay, yeah, I figured it out. This is my first time. I didn't look at any key levels. I don't know what's going on with it. I just took it back, right? And so these are the mistakes that newcomers make. These are some of the same mistakes that people that have been trading longer than me. And I've been trading nearly, what, 15 years, day trading. And I'll be honest and tell you this. Some people are, no matter what, they're going to keep trying the same thing over and over. And I'm not going to say I was one of those people, but what I will say this is it took me 10 years before I decided, hey, as I'm doing this, I'm just going to take what the market gives me, no matter what it is, $5, $20. And then over time, it starts to add up. Now, over the last 5 years of day trading, I've been profitable every single year because I'm disciplined and I just take what the market gives me, right? I'm not being greedy. All right. So if you're just coming in, hit that thumbs up. So that's how it is. Now, some people may come in and do the exact opposite of what I just said, right? I said that, you come in and you put everything in, you do a 0 day to expiration, you put the money in as soon as the market opens, you lose all your money. Now, you have some people that it happens to them and it does the total opposite, right? They come in, they uh, put $10,000 in and they get to $50,000 just like that. But most people is not gonna happen like that. So when it comes to day trading, we just can't come into this with the mindset that this is a casino. We can't come into it with a casino mindset. We had to come in it with a I'm gonna take what the market gives me mindset. Okay. So again, if you're just coming in, hit that thumbs up so we can fight the algorithm. So we're talking about day trading. All right. Now also remember the first time with crypto. All right. The first time with crypto again, we're talking 14, 15 years ago. And there was this particular there was this particular uh crypto that I invested in. I can't even remember the name of it. So I remember looking at the price. It was like 0.00001 of a cent. And so I bought like 10 million of them. And I'm thinking, yeah, only thing that has to happen, and again, this was like 15 years ago. I'm thinking the only thing that has to happen is this thing just go up just a little bit. I'm gonna make X amount of money. And so I held on to this. It was 4 years later, and the thing hadn't done anything. Had I put my money into Bitcoin, had I put my money into Ethereum, guess what? With that same amount of money that I put into nothing, hey, I would have been way better off. I would have been probably up 10 times my money versus 10 times down. And although I didn't put a whole lot of money into it, these are the examples that if a crypto or any stock, it has no name, it has no value, and in that case, the only hype that it has had was what it could potentially be price wise, right? So we got to get away from that kind of thinking. Okay, now let's talk about let's talk about some of the main stocks, right? Let's talk about your AMC's. Let's talk about your Game Stops, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of them. And we understand now with GameStop and AMC, it's more than the valuation of the company because we know that a stock of the magnitude of those companies can explode at any given time for given reason, right? So you got Roaring Kitty. He comes and puts up a picture on Twitter, and guess what? GameStop explodes, right? That's kind of what's been happening, and so there's nothing that institutions really can do about that, and that shows us that we have more power than we think we do. We just follow the footsteps of the media. We follow the footsteps as blind sheep, right? That's our biggest issue is not using the power that we have. Okay. So if you're in the GameStop or AMC like me from time to time, I don't put all my money into one basket. And the one thing for me, right? when it comes to GameStop, when it comes to AMC, I don't put I don't put more than a couple of $100 into those, right? Because if it goes to absolute zero, it doesn't matter. If it 10x's, then I'll take whatever it gives me. But I'm not investing in GameStop or AMC like it's the spy. I just don't, you know. And if you do that, then hey, kudos to you, you know. All right, let's see what else is going on in the market. That was a nice little talk. So speaking of GameStop, GameStop is at 0.2%, okay, which is cool. And yeah, GameStop. I want to know. I want to know what you guys think about GameStop. I want to know what you guys truly think about it. Um, do you think it has? Do you think that it has a future long term from here? Knowing the state of AI, knowing about the metaverse and all these different things, do you think that they have an opportunity of getting in on that end of it? Let me know what you guys think. How does GameStop really continue to grow when we got quantum computing, we got AI, we got all these different tools that can design an app for the average person, right? Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Okay, even as it pertains to AMC, right? We know where things are going. We know where things are going as far as the movies too. We know about the AI that's generated in a lot of these movies, which is bringing away the need for a lot of actors because you can create an actor, right? You can create an actor on the fly. And that's one of those unfortunate things. Okay. All right, guys. So, yeah, you guys just coming in, please hit that thumbs up so we can continue to grow. This is kind of how we're going to be maneuvering the channel, guys, from here on out. Okay. See what else is going on here. Meta, man, Meta's been taking a nice little dump here lately. Uh, this thing had gotten to 795, and it's sitting at 668. Okay, what do you think is a good opportunity to get in on Meta? All right, what do you guys think is a good spot to get into? So for me, I think that right now is a good time to start dollar cost averaging. I wouldn't start going all the way in unless we came to this particular level here. And I understand a lot of you would disagree with me, right? But Meta is one of those stocks that gives and receives. It gives you good opportunities, but when it's bad, it's not good at all. So I'm interested to know what you guys think about Meta. Okay. Also, Microsoft. Microsoft is one that's been hit lately, right? Microsoft has been hit pretty good. And $400 seems to be a pretty solid um I would say a pretty solid level of support. And you can see, look at this on the chart, how it formed this double chart. Hit here, got rejected. Hit here, got rejected. And look at that fall. Classic double top right there. But I honestly, I think that is severely undervalued. I think at the bare minimum with Microsoft, we should be around 450 to 460. I think there was a pretty big overreaction. Okay, now I understand where we are with AI, and we want to see the profitability, and we want to see all this and that. But long term, when you look at what Microsoft is involved with when it comes to businesses, when it comes to everything they're involved in, Azure, the Microsoft Office products, right? This company isn't going anywhere. Then you factor in their investment with Chat GPT. This thing's not going anywhere. And as Chat GPT gets better and it starts to give you the ability to create videos and all this, Microsoft is going to be a heavy hitter. Kind of like Google had a pretty good 2025 and 2026. Microsoft hasn't had this year yet. Okay. And when it does, it's gonna be pretty crazy. Okay. Now, Apple is one of those stocks that people look at as a store of value. So no matter what's going on, people always go back to Apple, right? People always uh, have looked at Apple. I'm gonna say this. People have always looked at Apple as a store of value like a gold or like a silver, right? So they look at it more of a store of value than gold and silver, depending on what generation you're in. But then they also look at it more of a store of value than Bitcoin, than an Ethereum, than an XRP. So if I had to make a guess out of any stock in the stock market, I think Apple is looked at as the biggest store of value because of their name, right? They've got a brand that everybody knows across the globe. Everybody knows it, right? So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get things set up because we're gonna be trading in about 12 minutes. So I'm hoping for some pretty good volatility here. And we'll see what else is going on here. So yeah, SOFX guys is what we're gonna be trading here. So those of you that are just coming in, SOFX is what I'm gonna be trading today. You can see right now we're down about 50 cents, which is cool. We just really have this. We bought 10 shares just to kind of keep an eye on it, see where we are. So yeah, this thing is down to 1645. And like I said earlier in this video, I think at the open, the stocks are going to drop because the jobless claims came in a little bit higher than expected. So yeah, I think that we're going to have a nice little dip at the open, and then we'll start to work our way back up as the day goes on. So with having that in mind, I have my strategy, right? I have my strategy, and I am going to be DCAing in today. Now, this is that danger zone right here for me. If we hit about 1587, I may start to add a little bit of short in there, but we'll see how things plan out. It just kind of depends on the volume when we look at the buying versus selling. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. Okay. All right, so for those of you that are just coming in, please hit that thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up so we can continue to grow. Hit that thumbs up, guys. All right, so what I'm doing now is getting everything set up to trade. Again, a lot of you, this is going to be your first time trading with me, so I appreciate you guys for being here. Really do. So if you're going to be trading today, what are you trading? I want to know what you guys are trading. And do you think that we are going to be dropping at the open? Do you see us dropping at the open? Let me know in the comments. I think it's going to be some pretty good volatility at the open. All right, so again, we just getting everything set up, guys. Got to add a description here to the video. Man, doing this live is a lot of work, isn't it? But I'll tell you this. The reason why I started to go live is because all the editing, all of the having to do this and do that, it's like, why not just record and be done with it? You record, you're done with it. Not only that, I get to show you exactly what it is I'm doing as opposed to recording a video, uploading it, keeping an eye on it to make sure it uploaded, it didn't fail. Like that's doing a lot, right? And so I'm not old by any stretch of the imagination. I'm getting a little bit older. I'm about to be 41. And for me, I'm about getting things in a position for myself as easy as possible. I'm not even gonna lie, right? And this is gonna make it easier for me to help people that want to learn. So right now we've got about 8 minutes until the market opens. So again, I appreciate you guys for being here. If you're stopping in, please hit that thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. So everybody that's giving a thumbs up, I appreciate you. This is gonna help, help this channel out as we transition into, a different phase with this channel. So I appreciate you guys' patience. I've been trying to figure things out, and the result was this. The result was go live, and and it was start the day trade. Since I'm pretty decent at that, right? All right, so let's see what else we got here. So again, I'm gonna be trading SOFX for those of you that are just coming in. NVDL, we may do a little bit with that as well. So again, SOFX and NVDL is what we're gonna be trading today. So SOFX, again, is an ETF that tracks the SoFi, and then we'll probably be looking at NVDL, which tracks the movement of NVIDIA. So that's what we'll be keeping an eye on today. Right now, you can see on the screen here, I've got 10 shares of SOFX, and that's just to kind of keep an eye on it, kind of gauge. And my approach today is kind of going to be a DCA approach. All right. Now, typically, what I do is once I get to the point where I'm down 1% on the value of uh my entire portfolio that I'm using, I'll just be done for the day, right? Now I know a lot of people will say 10%, 20%, but I don't get that aggressive because I'm not in this to lose money. I'll take the $10, I'll take the $20, and that's just from my experience of understanding what exactly is going on, right? So I understand these markets. I know that you got to take what you're given. All right. So we got about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So again, I'm getting things set up here. All right. So what I'm doing now is getting everything set up for the live because we'll be on here for the next hour or two. See how it goes. So there's gonna be some volatility at the open again. I'm expecting this thing at the open to dip, and then from there I can see this thing starting to move back up. So that's what I see for today. See a nice little dip coming at the open and then slowly starting to work its way back up. Okay. All right, guys. Are you guys ready? You guys ready to start trading? Let's get this thing going. All right. So we got about 4 minutes until the market starts. So again, this is based on the volatility for the jobless claims. Now again, I would suspect that there may be more volatility around 10:30. There's going to be some home sale. Let me see. Let me look at the economic data, economic calendar. So today is Thursday, February 12th. So we've got existing home sales that'll be coming at 10. Then we got the Fed governor, which will be after the market. So again, I see this thing starting off pretty volatile at the beginning with a dip. Then we work our way back up, and then we kind of consolidate and remain flat probably throughout the remainder of the day. And the reason why I say that is because CPI, the market is going to factor in everything from this week. It's going to be thinking about jobless claims. It's going to be thinking about the unemployment. It's going to factor in all of the earnings. It's going to factor in what we're looking for next week, and then that CPI, right? So there's a lot at stake right now. Let me see. So this thing is 1672. Let me see. All right. Yeah, let me see if that'll let me get out right there. 1672. All right. So I sold one. I'm gonna get rid of the rest. Let me see if it lets me get rid of the rest here. 1672. Well, 1683. Definitely let me out right there. I'm gonna just go 1680 because I know there's a gap in there. All right, so right now we got about 30 seconds. So we got a little bit of a cushion going into so right now we're up about $3.46. I don't know why it's showing like this. Let me drag this thing down so you guys can see. So again, this is what we're trading today, SOFX. And we're up about $3.46. Again, taking what the market gives us. So it looks like the market is open now. So let's see what's going on here. See what we can buy. All right, so let's see. So we're sitting at 1674 at the open for SOFX. Again, we're up $3.46. Again, we just taking what the market gives us. We're not trying to be too greedy or any of that. And then you'll see these some days you may, get $20. Some days it may be 50 or 100. So I'll just take whatever it gives me. Okay. Can't tell you guys what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get 10 more. So it looks like we had a nice little dip. You bring this thing out to the 5-minute chart here. Come on, work with me. 5-minute. What's this thing looking like this? So 1650 is where it started. So I'm gonna buy 10 right now. So right now, yeah, what we just got is at about 1641. Let me see here. How about we do a 10-minute chart? I don't like how that looks. Yeah, that looks better. All right. So let's look and see what our low is of the day. So the low is 1644. We'll bring this back here. So as of right now, we're below that. So let's see here. So yeah, right here, if we go below here, is kind of my danger zone. So I'm gonna change that to red. So let's see what happens. So right now we're up 346. Yeah, but I figured we was gonna have a dip at the open. I'm gonna be honest, I expect us to dip a little bit more, but let me go ahead and I'm gonna get 5 more on this. So let's go ahead and get 5 more at market. I'm cool with that. I know there's gonna be a gap. So right now we got 15 shares at an average of 1641, which is cool. I'll take that. Again, we're up 346 right now, and we're only trading SOFX. Now, I do have other things going on in this account, but we'll worry about that stuff another day. So I'm really trying to clean up this account so that we can strictly day trade in it. All right, so not a lot of action here. Let's see what's going on. See what's going on with the SPY. Now, if I want to get out, I can still see what's going on my phone. So don't think I don't know what's going on, guys. All right, so SPY right now we're sitting at 694. So we're up 0.4. So the SPY S&P looks pretty good. What else is going on? It looks like the Qs are pretty flat. So all of the non-tech stocks seem to be doing okay, but tech is kind of flat right now. Interesting. Yep. All right, so SOFX. Yeah, so far as starting to dip, and I'm still thinking it's because of his dealings with crypto. So we're looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has had a drop kind of at the open. I mean, it's still up, but it's had a nice little drop at the open. So yeah, we're kind of flat right now. There's not really much movement going on right now. Kind of flat. See if things will pick up here in a little bit. Google is flat. Meta's flat. So XLE is at an all-time high. So energy select sector. So yeah, a lot of people are ditching tech right now, and they're going to energy stocks. That's what I'm seeing right now. Silver is actually down about a percentage and a half. Gold is down about a half of a percent. AMD looks like it's gaining some traction. So I remember AMD took a hard hit not too long ago. So it looks like they're starting to kind of bounce up. And it looks like Nvidia again is keeping the markets up. So Nvidia has an impact on Broadcom, which is having an impact on AMD. So really, the only stocks that are really doing anything are the chip stocks. I'm interested to see what Intel is doing. So Intel right now is up about 0.2%. So yeah, market is starting off pretty flat. Neo, for those of you that like Neo, it just went under $5. Palantir is pretty flat, 0.29%. It's a pretty flat day so far. But things can turn around at any given time, guys. So we just gotta be patient and see if something's gonna happen. If not, then you know, it is what it is. Right. Let's come back to SOFX, see if we got any movement. Sometimes you just want some movement, right? Any kind of way you want movement. You don't care if it's up or down. You just want that thing to move. Okay. So I'm gonna grab a couple more shares here at market. Now, one of the things that I like about trading a stock outright is that if you ever get yourself in a bad position, right, and you so happen to go against your principles, like for me, my rule of thumb is never lose more than 1% of the value of the account you're using. But if you so happen to and you buy the stocks outright, and let's say you got 100 shares and you'll need 100 shares to do this, then you can start to sell covered calls. Now, I'll usually go a month out on my covered calls. That way I can collect a nice premium if the stock decides that it wants to keep going down. But other than that, my rule of thumb is once I get to 1% of the value of my account, I'm out. I'm out for the day, and then I'm on to the next one for the next day. Okay. So I'm interested to know. Let me know in the comments. And for those of you that just coming in, please hit that thumbs up so we can support the channel, grow this thing. But let me know what your rule is. Are you willing to lose 5% of your account a day? Are you willing to lose 10%? I want to know what your guys' mindset is because a lot of people have a lot of tolerance, right? A lot of people will say, oh, 20%, 30%. And I understand that, you know, there's no reward without um without risk, right? So you gotta have risk, but I don't know. You guys let me know. What's your rule of thumb? I want to know in the comments what your rule of thumb is for your day trades. Okay. And then for me today, I'm going long because I kind of viewed and I've said this 5 or 6 times on this channel. I expected a lot of these stocks to dip at the open because of the jobless claim numbers and then start to regain itself as the day goes on. Okay. So I think once we regain kind of near where we were to start the day, I think there's a potential to move a little bit higher, but I also think that we can kind of be choppy and or remain kind of flat until tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be the end all be all for the week, right? Tomorrow is CPI. We want to know what's going on with this economic. We want to know what's going on in the economy. We want to know what kind of numbers they come up with. Now, whether you believe them or not is one thing, right? But ultimately, tomorrow is going to be the end all be all for the rest of the week. So today we have jobless claims that came in higher than expected. The market really didn't take it as well, but it's not dipping down as much as I thought it would. Just a little slight pullback at the start of the market. Okay. Now let's go ahead and check out what's going on with the SPY. Okay. So right now the SPY is at up 0.41%. I mean it's an index, right? So 0.4% is decent for a day. So tomorrow we have that opportunities for the SPY to retry $700. So okay, so if CPI numbers come in as expected or even lower, right? I think we're looking at 2.5% or something like that. If we come in under that, this thing could very well go to $700. Okay, let's check out the Qs. I don't think we've looked at those today. So the Qs, the last I looked, was pretty flat. So 0.3%, yeah, that's flat. And the only thing that's keeping the Qs up right now is Nvidia. Nvidia is keeping its entire market up right now. And that seems to be the story for Nvidia over the last couple of years, right? Okay, so if you're coming in, guys, please hit that thumbs up. Please, please, please hit the thumbs up. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go back to what we've been trading. And again, I've been keeping an eye on it behind the scenes here. And we're starting to move back up a little bit on that SOFX. All right, so this is the 10-minute chart. And I think I'm gonna go on the 15-minute chart. I just don't like how that looks. Some of these views are, if they're not a SPY or yeah, yeah, that's a little better. All right, now the question for me is, at this particular price point, what am I willing to let this all go for? So we got as high as 1684, right? And so for me, I like to get out of this at maybe about 1650. Okay. 1650 is kind of where I'm looking to get out of this thing at. So I'm gonna go to trade and I'm gonna show you how this works. It's pretty cool. Let me see. Sorry. See, I was just trying to see something. So I'm gonna put a limit. And how many do I have? I have 15. And I'm gonna say I'll get rid of them at 1650. Now I can take all of this off. I don't need that. Now, if I decide I want to get out a little bit earlier than that, then I can, right? If I want to get out at 1644 or something, I can do that. I can always slide it, right? So if it gets to that point, we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and do that. But right now, yeah, the markets are pretty flat, man. I expect some sort of push one way or another at some point, but we'll see. Yeah, Nvidia is up 1%. It's starting to kind of come down a little bit. We touched $193. So Nvidia acts like it wants to go to $200. I'll say this: if we can kind of hold kind of what we are now, and when we get to earnings, I want to say is next month, this thing could really move to $200. Let's see, Nvidia earnings. So Nvidia's earnings is set for February the 25th. All right. I don't know why I thought that it was in March, but hey, February 25th, only about 2 weeks away. So again, we talked about that being one of the stocks that we might trade today, but as it's falling, I would need that thing to fall a little bit more to get into it. Okay. All right. SOFX. All right. It's getting to that danger zone. All right. Well, it looks like we getting a little bit of buying activity right now. Man, yeah. So far the last couple of weeks has not been having a good good week, good 2 weeks, right? Come off that incredible earnings, numbers look good. And I'm gonna be honest, I think that had they not got involved with crypto, the stock would be at all-time highs. That's just my personal opinion. So we talked about this the last couple of days. SoFi has gotten to the crypto game. They've got a crypto part of their app to where you can buy and sell crypto. And so Robinhood came out with their numbers, and the crypto numbers didn't look good during their earnings, or at least to the liking of the investors. And because SoFi is new to the space, guess what? It took a hit too. So although they're not the same type of company per se, they're both in a financial space, but because people are upset about buying near the tops of Bitcoin and some of these other cryptocurrencies and they've started to fall, people just aren't happy, right? And so they pull back on the amount of trading that they're doing, right? Especially a lot of the newcomers that came and piled in on top of everything that was going on, that sold their houses and took out gigantic loans and put all of their money into the stock, right? Or the crypto. Now, the crazy thing about crypto, right? And a lot of people over leveraging, right? Crypto is already volatile and it makes big moves. But for a lot of people to then go into something that 2X's, 4X's, 5X's, and 10X's on Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's just crazy, you know. And then I've seen a lot of videos of them talking about these brokerages liquidating their liquidating the holdings that they had, saying that they kicked them out when they didn't want to get out and they wanted to kind of hold. But when you're doing certain things, man, you can't you can't count on being able to get out when you want to get out, right? That's just not how it works. These brokerages are in it to make money. uh and by them liquidating, they're gonna make their money on that trade. But not only that, the problem comes for a lot of people that actually are borrowing money on these brokerages. So when I say that, they are using margin on cryptos. And so the broker is like, hey, I'm giving you this money, it's going down in value. Now I'm gonna have to liquidate, take my money, and whatever you're left with, you're left with. And we both walk away with our money. Okay. So that's what's going on here. All right, so now we're in the danger zone, right? Of SOFX. And I'm gonna take another trade here to see if I can average into this thing a little bit more. So this is the danger zone. I don't quite think I would be ready to sell out of this thing now. Buy that market right here. This is the danger zone, guys. So this is kind of where you want to start to be careful here. This is the danger zone. So either we're gonna bounce up, there's gonna be a lot of buying at this particular point, or yeah, this thing is gonna go down it's gonna go down a lot. So let's see what happens. But ultimately I do think that overall by the end of the day, this thing will be at least flat to as far as price, because we're still waiting on what's gonna happen tomorrow. So for those of you that are just coming in, please hit that thumbs up if you would. We would appreciate it so we can start to grow this channel and help more people out and giving you my insight on my about what 15 years of day trading and being totally profitable the last 5 years. So hit that thumbs up. So again, it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of taking what the market gives you and not trying to force it. So again, if I walk away with $20 a day, $200, whatever it is, I'm fine with that. And also today, at the moment, I'm only trading SOFX, so you can kind of see my profit and loss on it. Right now, we started trading in the pre-market, so this is where we are now. If I walk away with $10 a day, I'm happy with that. And then we'll probably do a recap on where we are for my day trading for the day. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we can trade here. See what Nvidia is doing. Let's see. So Nvidia right now is starting to push down a little bit, but we've got some buying going on this 15-minute chart. See how this thing looks on the 5. Yeah, this is a buying candle here. All right, let's go back to the 15. Yeah. Yeah, so Nvidia is pretty flat right now. See what the SPY's doing. SPY's kind of sold off a little bit since the last time we've looked. So see what happens from here. SPY. All right, let's see what the Qs are doing. I would suspect the Qs are probably close to no movement at all on the day. So yeah, we're at 0.04%. It's pretty flat for the day, but the overall movement is to the downside as of right now. But I'm still thinking this thing is gonna move up at some point. All right. Wow. Yep. Okay. I want to see what these quantum stocks are doing. So this is QuantumScape. QuantumScape is down 7.5%. So it looks like we've had some buying activity over the last 15 minutes or so, which is cool. Palantir, at one point it was up over 1%. Now it's down. So overall, the markets are trending to the downside, guys. The market does not like that jobless claim reports is showing that people have claimed more job losses than we expected. I want to say we expected about 110, but we came in at about 130. So this puts speculation on, what we're gonna do as far as interest rates and what other kind of decisions that need to be made for the economy, right? So we will see what happens. See what else is coming on. So we also have home sales coming out at 10 o'clock. Let's see what time it is now. So we'll probably see a little bit more action at 10 o'clock. What's the day? The 12th. So 10 a.m. existing home sales. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on that. And then we'll take things from there. Existing home sales. Now I don't know if the numbers coming in one way or another, if it's gonna make an impact on the markets, but we'll see. So yeah, we're really trending down, guys. The only thing that can say this week is gonna be CPI. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Yeah, Palantir is starting to sell off. Let's see what Rocket Labs is doing. Man, this thing is down 5%, but again, good opportunity to buy, especially when you look at Rocket Labs being at nearly $100 and $100 on some of these brokerages. Yeah, I would say buying now is better than buying in, right? Because we know that that stock probably is here to stay. I think the government has invested too much in this thing for them to totally, just stop investing in it. Yeah, guys, overall, yeah, this looks to be a nice little pullback here. It's not a sell off by any means of the imagination. So SOFX, yeah, this thing is still moving down, still presenting some buying activity for me. I'm actually gonna buy a little bit more because if things can go in the wrong direction, I'm fine with holding it and selling covered calls against it. I'm cool with that. But I think it's still gonna pop back up. So again, this is the strategy I told you guys I was gonna be working with throughout the day for SOFX because I told you for the 7th, 8th time now, I thought that at the open, the stocks were going to drop. This is exactly what it's doing. But I still think that we're going to kind of get a V-shaped recovery going back to the upside. And so everything is going according to plan. I'm just being patient right now. So now I'm going to add more to my sell. So we got 25 there. So going to go to my limit here. Going to add 10 to it for the same price. So we gonna sell all 25 at 16.50 if it comes back. Okay, so we're gonna go down a little bit. All right, so now got all 25 of the shares that I had ready to be sold at 16.50. I know we were ways off, but you gotta remember this too. This is a leverage ETF. So if this thing moves just the slightest on the regular stock, this thing is gonna move a lot on this leverage ETF. So keep that in mind. All right, let's go back to this 30. Look at that. So again, we're just waiting on a little bit of movement back to the upside. Okay, waiting on a little bit of movement. So those of you coming in, please hit that thumbs up so we can grow the channel, guys. I appreciate you. So we are actually trading the SOFX, which is a SoFi leverage ETF. SoFi has had a pretty nice amount of volatility over the last couple of weeks with earnings, um, with their dealings with crypto. And so Bitcoin has been falling, which now associates SoFi to cryptocurrency. And then when we look at the numbers of Robinhood, which has their business tailored towards crypto as well, and they're viewing SoFi as using a model that Robinhood uses, and so now Robinhood is on the other end of the spectrum, and they've been kind of falling a little bit. But I do believe that SoFi is undervalued, and for today particularly, I think that this thing is going to go back to the upside along with the rest of the stock. So again, right now, we can see that the Qs are down 0.18%, pretty flat on the day. At one particular point, we were up, I don't know, maybe 0.6% on the Qs. The SPY, we were down to 0.2%. At one point, we were up nearly 1%. So I think we have a good case for SPY to hit $700, break through $700 tomorrow if CPI numbers come in as expected or better. So when I say better, under 2%, I think we're expecting to come in at 2.5. So if we come in under that, then guess what? We're gonna be off to the races. Okay. But with this market now, you just never know. If they view that as the numbers, if they view that as the numbers being skewed or not accurate or anything, any little thing, anything can send this market down right now. Right? What's good news is good news sometimes. What's bad news is good news. This market doesn't know what to do, right? And so it's so uncertain, even gold and silver doesn't know what to do. And people run to gold and silver when there's uncertainty. So if we get those CPI numbers coming below expected, now we can lower those interest rates. If they come in higher than expected, we're looking at those interest rates being held longer than uh, than we want them to, right? So that's kind of where we are right now. Okay. So new home sales. Let's go ahead and see what happened with that. So that's the last thing we've been waiting on. New home sales. I think we're gonna look at Chat GPT. So the U.S. new home sales figure for the latest release came in at about 737,000 annualized, just slightly lower, but higher than consensus forecast of 716,000. This suggests builders are still finding buyers even as affordability remains a concern. Okay, so from that perspective, maybe the economy is doing a little bit better only when it comes to home sales data though. So why this matters is because stronger than expected new home sales can be bullish for equities and the dollar as it signals continued housing demand. Now, I mean, obviously, guys, people are always gonna find somewhere to live, right? They gotta find somewhere to live. But here's what I would say I've noticed, and I'm a person that's actually a realtor, right? I've been in the real estate industry for 5 years or so. Done bookkeeping, done the sales of homes, done all that, the closings, all of that. And what I've seen is there's a trend going on, and it's the smaller homes. Okay, so people are buying the smaller homes. That's exactly what they're doing. So in a sense, the numbers are skewed a little bit when we think about what people are actually buying for homes. I noticed down the street from where I live, there's a company that actually manufactures homes, right? Like those mobile homes. For the last 3 to 6 months, I've noticed the newer houses that they build have been half the sizes of those basic like 1,500 square foot homes they would make. Now they're making them 500 and 750 square feet. So yes, a lot of these home sales are up, but the type of homes they're buying is going to cost them less. Okay, so that's one thing we got to keep an eye on. Well, guys, I will keep you guys posted on what happens with my trading for the rest of the day. I'll give you guys an update. But as of right now, yeah, guys, this market is not really doing much. It's pretty flat. Okay. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you guys happen to watch this whole thing, or if you just coming in now, please hit that thumbs up.